General Hospital will reveal while all of Port Charles seems to be resting in an eerie calm before the storm, no murders, no shocking betrayals, no explosive secrets tearing families apart, beneath that serene surface, a seismic shift is quietly brewing. This time, it's not about the return of a notorious villain or a long-buried truth clawing its way back to the surface, but rather a name deeply etched in General Hospital history, Dillon Quartermaine. And what's making the fandom buzz even louder is the potential involvement of a powerhouse from a neighboring soap opera universe, Scott Clifton, the Emmy-winning star of The Bold and the Beautiful. Rumors are swirling that General Hospital has quietly extended an offer to Clifton to join the cast, possibly to take over the role of Dillon, should the character of Liam Spencer on B&B meet a tragic end. What once seemed like idle speculation is now beginning to feel like a full-blown, calculated shift in the soap opera landscape. Scott Clifton, known for his emotionally nuanced and layered portrayal of Liam Spencer, currently finds his character entangled in a life-or-death storyline. Doctors on The Bold and the Beautiful have diagnosed Liam with a brain tumor, a dramatic plot point that longtime daytime viewers recognize as a likely precursor to a sorrowful farewell. In soap terms, incurable illnesses rarely end without tragedy. And if Liam does indeed succumb to his diagnosis, it would pave the way for Clifton, a veteran of complex roles and raw emotion, to breathe new life into Dillon Quartermaine, a character once at the center of family tragedies, forbidden love, and moral crossroads within Port Charles's most powerful dynasty. But why is Dillon so important? Because Dillon isn't just a Quartermaine by name, he embodies the rebellious soul of a family consumed by legacy, tradition, and power. He was once the creative spirit trapped in a household ruled by control and corporate ambition. Since his departure from Port Charles in 2017, the Quartermaine family has felt incomplete. Dillon's return wouldn't merely enrich the narrative, it would resurrect an entire lost branch of one of daytime's most iconic legacies. He was the artist who walked away from the family's expectations, and his comeback would be the perfect storm to spark new conflicts, not just among relatives, but against the rising powers of Port Charles. And who better to take on that storm than Scott Clifton? With a resume filled with award-winning performances and emotional depth, Clifton understands how to inhabit a role that demands heartache, vulnerability, and defiance. Traits that Dillon possesses in spades. Imagine this new Dillon, not the wide-eyed romantic of years past, but a man hardened by absence, betrayal, and personal growth. A man ready to reclaim what he once rejected. A man prepared to challenge the Quartermaines on their own turf, playing by their rules, but on his own terms. His return could ignite fierce rivalries with Michael Corinthos, Ned Quartermaine, or even Jason Morgan if the latter were to return with a renewed purpose in the family. Dillon may become the voice of dissent in a house that thrives on control. And romantically? The possibilities are endless. Dillon could rekindle old flames like Lulu Spencer, if she returns, or spark new entanglements with Brooke Lynn, Maxie, or Sasha. A brooding artist with a storied past and a family legacy, that's the kind of character General Hospital thrives on. As of now, Scott Clifton remains silent. No confirmations. No denials. And in the world of daytime television, silence often speaks volumes. With no official statements from the producers and Clifton maintaining a tight-lipped stance, fans are left to piece the puzzle together themselves. But everything points toward something big. Something game-changing. If Dillon returns, General Hospital wouldn't just be gaining a familiar face. It would be reigniting a lineage. Dillon Quartermaine isn't just another returning character. He is a symbol. A catalyst. And if played by Scott Clifton, he could herald a new era for Port Charles, one where past, present, and future collide in the most thrilling, volatile, and emotionally gripping way that only daytime drama can deliver. Scott Clifton has yet to break his silence. A strange and lingering quiet in the midst of a growing storm of speculation. For longtime fans of soap operas, silence in situations like this is rarely just a lack of response. More often than not, it's a subtle confirmation, a strategic move in an industry that thrives on suspense, build-up, and emotional investment. In the world of daytime television, where every glance, every vague comment, and every delay in response can signal a plot twist, Clifton's decision to remain silent has only fueled the fire. And for someone as media-savvy as Clifton, who has masterfully kept career transitions under wraps in the past, this silence feels anything but accidental. Clifton, known for navigating his professional moves with discretion, has kept casting shifts and storyline changes secret until the last possible moment before. So now, with rumors swirling around his departure from the bold and the beautiful, fans are beginning to believe that he may not be preparing for just any exit, but for a rebirth. Not as Liam, the man torn between two women, endlessly caught in a cycle of heartbreak and redemption, but as Dillon Quartermaine, the prodigal son who once abandoned expectations for the pursuit of art and individuality, only to return with a purpose, to reclaim his rightful place in the Quartermaine legacy. Meanwhile, the fan community is divided. Some dismiss the speculation as nothing more than a media stunt, a clever trick by producers to keep viewers tuned in and conversation alive. They argue it's a classic soap tactic, hint at dramatic exits, build anticipation, then leave everything just as it was. But a growing number of fans see something deeper at play. For them, moves like this are often the opening act of a master plan. Because what if, just what if, Scott Clifton truly does step into the role of Dillon? It wouldn't simply revive an old Quartermaine storyline. It would breathe life into a forgotten branch of the family tree. It would rekindle lost connections, create new romantic entanglements, and open the floodgates to fresh conflicts over power, loyalty, and legacy, both inside General Hospital and within the Quartermaine estate itself. Imagine this: Dillon, no longer the idealistic filmmaker of the past, returns hardened, more calculating, and determined to take back what he once walked away from. His years of absence have given him perspective, and perhaps, a quiet hunger for redemption or revenge. He's not here to play by the family's rules anymore. He's here to challenge them, reshape them, or burn them down entirely. His presence could threaten the current power dynamics. Michael Corinthos, Ned Quartermaine, Brooke Lynn, even Jason Morgan, if he returns, could find themselves face to face with a very different Dillon. One who knows how to use the Quartermaine name to his advantage. One who's not afraid to get his hands dirty. One who could easily become the center of new love triangles, shake the foundation of current relationships, or introduce secrets that could upend everything. And the hospital? That, too, could become a new battlefield. If Dillon begins to assert influence behind the scenes, using the Quartermaine clout to leverage board votes, manipulate hospital politics, or elevate underdogs for his own ends, Port Charles may never be the same. In the ever-changing landscape of daytime drama, Dillon Quartermaine, especially if brought to life by Scott Clifton, could become a bridge between eras. A character with enough nostalgia to pull in longtime viewers, but enough edge and mystery to captivate a new generation. And if this comeback happens, it won't just be a headline. It will be a mission statement from General Hospital, a declaration that in this town, no one is ever truly gone. They're just waiting for the perfect moment to return and rewrite everything. What lies ahead for General Hospital could very well revolve around the return of Dillon Quartermaine, this time not as a supporting character or a wayward dreamer, but as a driving force in the Quartermaine family's next chapter. His comeback wouldn't simply be about nostalgia, it would be a shake-up that alters the very fabric of Port Charles, injecting new energy into stagnant dynamics and awakening long-dormant tensions. Dillon, once the artistic soul who chose freedom over family obligation, may now return as someone sharpened by time and distance. No longer seeking approval, he could arrive with clear intentions, to take his place at the family table and influence the direction of the Quartermaine legacy. With key players like Michael Corinthos at the helm, and potential shifts in family leadership, Dillon could position himself as a rival, questioning decisions, disrupting alliances, and redefining what it means to carry the Quartermaine name. If Jason Morgan were to return as well, the contrast between the two men could become a compelling foundation for deeper conflict. Jason, the silent enforcer who walked away from the Quartermaines long ago, may now find himself facing a cousin who embraced the family name on his own terms, one who's willing to do whatever it takes to be heard. Dillon's emotional weight, however, won't just stem from business or legacy. His presence would inevitably stir romantic tension and unearth unresolved emotions in others. Dillon Quartermaine may view him differently now. More than just family, perhaps even as a partner in power or pain. Maxie Jones, still healing from her own past losses, might see in Dillon a companion who understands the burdens of expectation and the price of vulnerability. And then there's the possibility of someone new, an unexpected woman from Dillon's past, or a mysterious newcomer tied to secrets he's tried to bury. Whether it's unfinished love, betrayal, or a hidden child, this addition could destabilize every personal connection Dillon attempts to build or rebuild. Dillon's re-entry would be a strategic masterstroke for the writers, bringing not just a legacy character back to the fold, but a multidimensional force capable of bridging past and present storylines. With a fresh outlook and emotional depth, he could become a crucial anchor for characters seeking connection, redemption, or even revenge. Ultimately, Dillon wouldn't return just to blend in, he'd come back to confront, to challenge, and to claim what's his. And in doing so, he could change General Hospital in ways that no one, not even the Quartermaines, could predict. As speculation continues to swirl across fan forums, industry insiders, and daytime drama circles, one thing has become undeniably clear: anticipation for Scott Clifton's potential leap to General Hospital has reached a fever pitch. No official statement has come from ABC, nor has Clifton addressed the rumors directly, but sometimes, it's the silence that speaks the loudest. In the vacuum of confirmation, what's blossoming is more than just hope. It's momentum. And if that momentum leads to a reveal, it may signal one of the most significant narrative upheavals the series has seen in years. This isn't just about a role being recast. This is about the possibility of a complete reinvention of Port Charles's emotional and political landscape, a new era where loyalties are tested, power is redistributed, and the very definitions of family, legacy, and identity are rewritten. Dillon Quartermaine's name alone evokes legacy, yes, but if embodied by an actor like Scott Clifton, the character transforms into something far more unpredictable and explosive. There's a reason this casting rumor carries so much weight. Clifton is not just a recognizable face, he's a performer known for taking layered, emotionally fraught characters and elevating them with charisma, vulnerability, and a simmering intensity that rarely goes unnoticed. Bringing that energy to Port Charles, through the lens of a character who's been absent long enough to change completely off-screen, creates narrative gold. Writers aren't just handed an actor, they're handed a catalyst. Dillon, once peripheral to the central dramas of General Hospital, now stands poised to become a disruptor of peace and stability. With years having passed since his last appearance, the character can return molded by experiences viewers haven't seen, giving writers carte blanche to reintroduce him as a wild card. He could emerge as a seasoned manipulator, a wounded visionary, or a tactician who plays every side to get what he wants. That level of narrative flexibility is rare, and the potential for long-form storytelling grows exponentially with a character that comes back more mysterious than he left. If Clifton steps into this role, it won't simply be an exciting casting coup, it will redefine relationships across the canvas. The current generational balance, long held in check by familiar alliances and grudges, could be shattered. Dillon's return would be less about nostalgia and more about revolution. He wouldn't merely resurface to relive old wounds or rehash tired dynamics, he'd return with new scars, new secrets, and new agendas that could threaten every bond from the Quartermaines to the hospital boardroom. This shift would also affect the rhythm of General Hospital itself. A Clifton-led Dillon storyline could push the show into more mature, psychologically complex territory, with plots that focus not just on romance and rivalries, but on redemption, personal reinvention, and the shadow cast by family expectation. Viewers wouldn't just be watching a familiar face return, they'd be watching Port Charles confront the consequences of what happens when a forgotten heir comes home, not to heal, but to reclaim, reshape, and possibly destroy. In essence, this is not a moment for incremental change. It's a moment where an actor and a character could converge to ignite a new creative epic for the show. Scott Clifton's possible involvement brings with it a legacy of high-caliber storytelling from his years on The Bold and the Beautiful, and if that is allowed to flourish on General Hospital, the result could be a dramatic escalation in stakes, intensity, and emotional resonance. And so, while the credits haven't rolled on Liam Spencer, and Dillon Quartermaine remains just a whisper in the halls of the Quartermaine mansion, one can't help but feel the ground shifting. Because if this return becomes reality, Port Charles won't just be welcoming someone back, they'll be opening the gates to something uncontrollable. Something that doesn't knock before entering, doesn't ask permission, and doesn't leave quietly. It will be the beginning of something far bigger than one character. It will be the beginning of a new legacy.